Thank you, and welcome to Early Childhood Academy Public Charter School. We have a couple special Masters of Ceremonies that will be making the more formal introductions in just a moment. Here they come. Please help me in welcoming ECA student Karan Jefferson.
To begin our program, please welcome the senior string quintet who will perform Are You Sleeping and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Good afternoon. My name is Lauren Motley. I am also a third grader. On behalf of all of us at ECA, I thank you for joining us in this wonderful celebration of our new school. We will now have remarks from our school leaders and distinguished guests, beginning with Miss Wendy Edwards, ECA's Executive Director.
Good afternoon. So before I begin, I was just informed that the President's FEMA alert thing is about to go off. So I'm assuming that if you have a cell phone, everything may start chiming and alarming. So we'll just stop and go through that, and then we'll start over again. I am Wendy Edwards. I am the Executive Director here at ECA. I want to bring greetings to Councilmember White. Mayor Bowser, I understand, is on her way. To all of our distinguished guests, our wonderful friends, and our dedicated ECA family. And some of my own family who's here. Thank you for coming. In 2005, we opened ECA and moved into 2 small community centers which were supposed to serve as our temporary locations for the school as we sought a permanent home. Oh, here we go. I'm going to keep on talking. Maybe I won't. Can you cut it off? Oh, I'm beeping too. We're all beeping. So we know our emergency system works, so let's give our hand to FEMA. Good job. Along the way, we grew our student population from 110 to over 250 students, achieved accreditation from the Middle States Commissions on elementary and secondary schools, maintained our public charter school board quality ranking as a Tier 1 school. 13 years later, however, after many ultimately futile attempts to build, renovate, or relocate to properties throughout the Southeast community, this remains our temporary home. New visitors still come to our building and routinely remark, "I didn't even know a charter school was in here." But through the vision and support of many great organizations and some really fantastic people, Early Childhood Academy has accomplished its goal and purchased a property on which we are building a 38,000 square foot facility for 300 students in pre-kindergarten through grade 3. It does take a village, and we have an awesome one with committed parents, many of whom are here today, with dedicated teachers and staff, many of whom are in the back of the room, with supportive friends and resourceful partners who have helped us achieve this vision. Our thanks goes to each of you. Today is a day to rejoice, but please come back in August 2019 when we will be floating on clouds into our new facility. I thank you for joining us this afternoon in this celebration. At this time, I would like to welcome to the podium our President of our Board of Trustees, Dennis Sawyers.
Thank you, Wendy, and also to Karan and Lauren for leading us this afternoon. We are delighted to be joined by our city leaders, Mr. Taryn White, and those who are on their way. We owe a special debt of gratitude to Bo McKenty and Mark Rengel of the McKenty Group, also to the finance and project teams, to Mrs. Wendy Edwards, Executive Director of Early Childhood Academy Public Charter School, to Mr. THANN Ingram, the principal, to the staff, students, and parents of ECA, and the Ward 8 community. Good afternoon. It is my privilege and pleasure to serve as the president of the Board of Trustees of this great school. And I bring you greetings from all of my colleagues who serve on the board with me. Some are here with us this afternoon. In 1970, my mother moved in this community with her 4 children. We moved to 1006 Barnaby Terrace. I had to call my brother to get the address because I didn't remember. We lived here just shy of 2 years, but nevertheless, it is true that I am a product of this community. Now, almost 50 years later, I am humbled to play a role in establishing Early Childhood Academy Public Charter School, a Tier 1 education option, as a permanent bastion of high values and a place where children are given the tools that they need to grow and thrive as productive citizens. I'm looking forward to the ways in which this new facility will enhance the community and the lives of the children we serve, both today and in the future. A refrain from my religious experience says, "We have come this far by faith." Indeed, we have. And that faith has been tried over time. We've had multiple false starts to arrive at today. But with the academic and administrative leadership of ECA, we remained steady and steadfast. Now here we are, doing what seemed impossible, breaking ground not only on a new facility, but on an opportunity to build on the hopes and dreams of families like my own, and the hopes and dreams of children who want to enhance their perspectives, expand their reach, and ultimately contribute in meaningful ways to this and other communities. Thank you all for coming. Please join me in welcoming the principal of ECA, Mr. THANN Ingram.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I was, hey, sounds robotic, but it's not. I was told when I was sitting in my office, they said, "There's a lot of gentlemen in their suits today." And I said, well, this was the first day that I'm not in mine. Anyway, but I was also told that this was a great choice because it represents who we are. So, this is another step in our journey towards creating equitable education access for students in underserved areas. ECA is not just a school. ECA is an educational opportunity housed in a building, and today, with the groundbreaking of our new facility, the building and the opportunities housed inside become reflective of one another. There are so many people who have been instrumental along the journey to today. First, our students, parents, teachers, and administrative staff are to be commended for their work. The work is a labor of love, albeit, but work all the same. I'd like to recognize those who served as beacons guiding us along this process. Mr. Carl Gentoff of 10 Square provided invaluable consultation and support to ECA, being the commercial real estate neophytes that we were, and in many ways still are. Our financial manager, Ms. Deborah Robinson Foster. Yes. and the ECA business office staff that she manages so very well. Our Board of Trustees, yes, our Board of Trustees, with special thanks to Mr. Dennis Sawyers, Deborah Hall, James Williams, Patrick Akers, and Eric Bellamy. Bo Menkiti and Mark Rengel of the Menkiti Group, Tom Nida of John Marshall Bank, Joanna Schmickel and John Orduro of Cox Gray and Spack Architects, the Office of the State Superintendent of Education, and the many lenders and attorneys who have provided us with the expertise and financing needed to make this project happen. To all of our parents, staff, friends, and partners who have given so generously to our building fund. And finally, to the one who has led ECA since its inception, the one who always honors and recognizes everyone. She honors and recognizes everyone else's contributions while rejecting the slightest hint of appreciation for her influence and leadership. Our own Executive Director, Ms. Wendy Edwards. Now she's totally uncomfortable. All right, make you more uncomfortable. I want to share a quote from one of our ECA board members, Ms. Deborah Hall. She writes, "Congratulations, Wendy. It is your outstanding leadership and commitment that has led us to this day. We are also grateful to you. You were never deterred. The groundbreaking ceremony today is the result of your vision. I offer my sincere thanks to you. Because of you and your team, the future of the children of ECA is much brighter." Thank you. I'd like to introduce the CEO of the Menkiti Group, Mr. Bo Menkiti.
Wow. It's so special to be at this day. Thank you, Wendy, Mr. Sayers, THANN. It's so exciting to stand today next to you guys on this special moment. My name's Bo Menkiti. I'm the founder and CEO of the Menkiti Group. I'm so excited because I think this day represents the power of possibility in a time of divisiveness and discord. It represents the power of community when all its stakeholders come together in service of a brighter future. Our company's vision is of an America where urban communities are thriving, diverse, and economically vibrant places to live. And quality schools and thriving young people are the foundation of that vision for the future. As a former educator myself, and coming from a family of educators and married to an educator, this day really represents a coming full circle of the vision we had when we started the Menkiti Group, as we get to stand here shoulder to shoulder along with the amazing educators who do the real work every single day, and the students that represent our future as we break ground on their new home. The genesis of this project started when I got a phone call from Tom Nida, and he said, "I want to introduce you to Wendy and her team, and could you help them work through some of the lease issues that they're having in the space that they're in?" And while we were working with ECA through some of their lease issues, we had separately been working with Bishop Staples and Dr. Anderson on some projects that they were doing actually out in Prince George's County. And one day, I got a phone call. And the phone call said, "Hey, we are thinking," from Dr. Anderson, "we're thinking of selling our old church home. And somebody's made an offer on it, and we think it's an okay offer, and we're going to go ahead and sell it, but we don't have a great feeling about the group we're going to be selling it to. And we have a great feeling about you guys, and we think you'd be great stewards of our property. Would you be willing to buy this property? And I said, well, I don't know, where is it? And they sent over the address, and my mind started spinning. I said, well, that address is right behind ECA. And right behind where we've been having these conversations about this amazing school doing great work and needing space to do that work in. And it was then that sort of this idea started to come together. This idea was born from the team at ECA and from our team that we could create a campus that could be a permanent home for ECA, where the young students of ECA would grow and thrive in an environment that prepared them to be the future leaders of our community. But as James Russell Lowell said, creativity is not the finding of a thing, but the making of something out of it after it is found. And it truly took a village, in this case maybe 2 villages, to get this project to fruition. And later on, Mark, who's worked tirelessly from our side, will acknowledge some of the many individuals. There's so many that I would take up the whole time if I was to start acknowledging everybody who worked so hard to make this happen. I was talking earlier to Jerry. He's talking about phone calls with 40 people on the phone call to move this project along. But I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the amazing staff and team at the Minkiti Group. So I just ask if all the people on the Minkiti Group could just raise their hands or stand up and say hi. This group of folks, we've been privileged to have amazing partners, but I'm more privileged every day to get to work with some of the most dedicated and committed people out there in the world, and for that I'm truly grateful. And I want to especially acknowledge Mark Rengel, who's worked around the clock on this and whose passion for the mission of the school has driven this forward, to Brian Burke and Alex Hondros, who worked tirelessly on the financing with Carl, and also to Rob Foa, who did a lot of work early on with the school and helping to get to that place, and then Jen and Kelly, who helped organize everything we're experiencing today. We hear so much about division and acrimony in today's society, but that makes this project even more special, as it took the generosity and stewardship of the faith community, the power and vision of the business community, the commitment of the financial community, and the leadership of our local government, and most importantly, the powerful vision, results, and leadership of the ECA staff, all powered by the commitment and belief in the potential of the amazing young people that make up ECA. So it's with great gratitude that we acknowledge the leadership of our city, the consultants, advisors, financial partners, architects, engineers, and the general contractor that are all coming together to make this vision a reality. At the Minkiti Group, we wake up every day committed to trying to make our mission a reality. And we get to work with amazing people. But that mission is to transform lives, careers, and communities through real estate. We believe that the built environment is a powerful force for transformation that can drive equality and positive change in our communities. So today we celebrate transformation, the transformation of a former church into something new with a renewed purpose of hope and impact, the transformation of a neighborhood landscape from a blighted, fire-damaged property into a beautiful new building that can stand as a symbol of opportunity and possibility for generations to come. We celebrate the transformation that ECA creates in its students as they learn and grow into the future leaders of our community. Today, we also celebrate community and the connections between the various strands of our community fabric that come together to make today possible. In the words of Helen Keller, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. Today, we see the power of what can happen when we come together as a community. Faith-based organizations, businesses, nonprofits, financial organizations, and our government leaders. Today, we see that when we all come together, we can do so much. So much to support the educators and organizations that are doing the most important work of shaping the minds and hearts of the young people who are going to lead us into the future. And that, frankly, is what transformation and community is truly all about. So I'd like to bring up a wonderful council member who's been committed to this community and especially to the youth of this community and who shows up every day and I know works tirelessly to move things forward. Councilmember TRAYON White.
have to adjust the mic after Bo finishes giving his speech. But good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to be here today to open up this new facility. First, I want to thank Ms. Wendy and Mr. THANN for their vision. Give them another round of applause. And the board as well. I believe in an old scripture where it says that where there's no vision, the people perish. And as a young man growing up in this community, I grew up on Chesapeake Street, so I used to have to walk through what was called Linda Poland at the time, to come to Anna Johannan at the time, to partake in some summer breakfasts and summer lunches. And so I just hope in the spirit of God is still there, Bishop Staples, for our young people to enter into this magnificent facility. During my time as a leader in D.C., I've been brokenhearted by the number of schools that have been closed over the years. I remember at one time we closed about 22 education campuses in D.C. And so today we are embarking on something new, a new facility, not just for any school, but a Tier 1 school. And you can give a round of applause to that because that's not easy. So I want to acknowledge the teachers here who teach every day, they work hard, the students here, the parents, who all make this a part of our community because you all make me proud and make me proud to be your leader. I would like to thank all those, Mayor Bowser who's on the way, and all those who invested into this building because it's not just what goes on to make the building, but it's what's going on inside of the building. And we have to double down to make sure education is important to our young people because education was what gave me the opportunity to be who I am today. I want to thank my grandmother, Jane Ann Roberts, who told me that education was important when they said I had 2 learning disabilities. And now I'm a student, I'm a law school student at Northwestern University in Chicago. And so it's all about education. When I see our young people and I interact with them and I tell them that I just came from Anacostia High School, that this is the ticket. We can do a whole lot of things, but if you don't take your education serious, we're missing the boat. And sometimes we start too late. And so I'm equally excited this afternoon that we are focused on our younger people. Because sometimes we catch them too late. And by the time they get to high school or middle school, it's about pushing strong vision in them early and encouraging them. And so I'm excited to be here today to join Bo McKenty, all those who are gathered here today to start something new in our community and to continue the spirit of excellence. Say excellence. Excellence. It's very important that we just don't lower the bar of education for our young people, that we push them and believe in them, inspire them, even when sometimes they don't believe in themselves. Because somebody did that for me. I want to thank you all for having me here today. Not that there had anything to do with this project. I just came on as a councilman to give a good speech, but education is always near and dear to my heart. And anytime we can do anything to uplift the community, because at the core of any strong community, organization, or civilization is education. So I'm proud to be here today to celebrate ECA and your tremendous victory. Thank you. God bless. There she is. So I know she's got here, but I want to take a moment to acknowledge our Mayor Muriel Bowser and her staff. Give her a round of applause. And so while we're acknowledging you, we want to move right to you coming up. Give a round of applause for our Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Thank you, Trey. Yes. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I love uniforms, so when I see the boys and girls in their uniforms getting ready for their new building, I get really excited. So let's thank the boys and girls in advance for their patience as the new building gets ready. Thank you, boys and girls. And let me also thank the council member for being here. I know there's no bigger supporter of education in Ward 8 than TRAYON White. And he makes sure that everybody on the council knows it and that all of the facilities and programs that we put in place really match the expectations that we have for our children. So thank you, council member, for you. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. Let's give the council member a big round of applause. So we are really excited, and let me thank, is Paul here? Where's Paul? Is Paul Kine? Oh, there he is. And we have a new deputy mayor for education who I appointed, who is very focused on making sure that all of our educational opportunities across the city, across the sectors, are providing great choices for families. And there's really, we're talking about a fantastic example here today, Paul. Are you excited, boys and girls, as I am? Okay, very good. Because what we know that's going to happen here in Ward 8 is that there's a huge investment in new space. And it's nothing like preserving space, adding new space, and making sure that families have more of what they need. You may have heard I'm more personally focused on early child care lately because I have a 4.5-month-old little girl who is going to be looking to go to school really, really soon. And we know that in our city, this is what we're finding, that young families, they have some decisions to make. If they're going to be able to stay here, live here, and grow their families here, they have to have good daycare, good early child care, and fantastic options K through 12. And I know for sure what has changed our city in the last 20 years is our steadfast commitment to education. And so we're going to continue with that commitment with this building. I'm delighted to see the Mankiti Group and Mark Rengel involved in this project. Hometown businesses investing in our hometown is what our city is all about. So I am looking forward to joining with all of you in breaking the ground. And how soon will kids be going to school in the new building? In August? In August! So that's going to be a great project. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark Rengel. I serve as a Vice President of Development for the Mankiti Group. And on behalf of the Mankiti Group, first and foremost, I'd like to thank the Early Childhood Academy. Wendy, Deborah, THANN, Dennis, and the other members of the board that are with us today, the staff, teachers, the parents, families, and friends, thank you for entrusting us and our organization with the great civic responsibility of building a new school for your children. We are so excited to deliver a new facility, something that will be a beacon for the greater community and for years to come and will serve generations of District of Columbia students. I have a long list of folks to thank. It takes many villages, as you've heard several times today. But I'd like to recognize the efforts of the many organizations and individuals who made this day possible. Please hold your applause until the very end so that all team members can get equal gratitude and appreciation for their efforts. As Bo mentioned in his story of the genesis of the project, it started with Tom Nida, the chair of the Charter Schools Development Corporation and currently at John Marshall Bank. The senior pastor of the Temple of Praise, Bishop Glenn Staples, and the Reverend Dr. Sharon Anderson, the community development coordinator. They were integral in transferring the former Johannine Baptist Church to our organization, which is going to become the new school. Our leader on the financing side, Carl Gentoff, the orchestrator of so many individuals that led to this New Markets Tax Credit execution. Carl, thanks for all of your support and drive on this project. And I'll briefly go over the financing team. I'd like to thank Brian Argret and his team at City First Bank, Merrick Malone from DC Housing Enterprises and his team, Nagesh Tamara at the DC Office of the State Superintendent of Education, Enjung Kim and her team at Chase Bank, Godwin Agba and his team at Industrial Bank, Holly Denniston Chase from the Low Income Investment Fund. And then the attorneys represented here today, I know Jerry Levine of Levine Law and Michael Lee of Jones Walker representing the school. Thank you for all your efforts in bringing this project to bear, as well as Gerard McLaughlin and his team at United Bank. Now, it was my privilege to really curate and orchestrate a project team that could deliver a first-class facility for the students at ECA. And it starts with the great design team and general contractor. We've got representatives from our general contractor, Meridian Construction, Jerry Nowak, Dan Nowak, John Rada, and Kevin Mullen. These guys are turning dirt every day. You can see the activity going on site. It's so exciting to finally see the school come out of the ground. So thank you. Our architects, we brought in what I feel is some of the preeminent educational architects in the District of Columbia. I may be partial because my wife actually works for this firm, but they're phenomenal. They've delivered projects across from Woodson High School to Wilson High School, the Duke Ellington School for the Arts in Georgetown, just phenomenal educational facilities. So thanks very much to Joanna Schmickel, the principal, and John Odero, the project manager from Cox Gray and Spack Architects. Bill Spack is also here in attendance. Thank you for coming. Their team of consultants start with Built Environment Engineers, folks I've known for more than a decade, Milton Iriarte, Willie Iriarte, Darren Shoemate, Colin Millian, and John Edinger. Thank you guys for your efforts. Mamo Asefa, our civil engineer from MA Design Group, Silman Structural Engineers, Vasil Dragunov, Shane Maximow, Scott Gordon, and Zach Brown. Our geotechnical engineers with DMY Capital, Stephen Arthur, and especially Robbie Curry. New Columbia Solar, our solar consultant. It's going to be a LEED Gold certified facility at the end of the day. We'll have a large solar array across the roof of the facility providing electricity for the students. Dan Tryman, our lead consultant, Adam Shervinsky, our commission agent, Kim Mitchell of CDKM Permit Expediting Services, and Ashley Torres of McKeever Services. We also worked with the DC Sustainable Energy Utility, Emmanuel Larea and Lee Harold. And then I'd like to give a special nod to our neighbors, our adjacent neighbors, everyone from the ANC and community, especially ANC Single-Member District Commissioner Stephen Slaughter of ANC 8E07, and our direct neighbors to the west, the Walter E. Washington Estates. Eugene Wilkerson and his board of directors has been especially supportive of this project and just welcomed us with open arms and smiles on their faces, and we're so excited to see the transformation that's happening before their eyes. And then I'd like to repeat Bo's thanks to our committed staff at the Mankitti Group. Bo for casting the vision and driving us onward and upward day after day, year after year. Just an amazing organizer and president of this organization. I couldn't be more privileged to stand next to and do this work every day. Brian Burke, Alexandros on the financing side, really amazing guys. Rob Foa, my colleague, who really at the very outset worked closely with the school to make this deal happen and bring something to bear. And then our choreographers of this event, Jennifer Motruck, our Director of Communications and Marketing, and Kelly Harwood and Taylor Weldon. Thank you so much. It's been a fantastic event thus far. We're about to head outside to break some ground, so thank you, everyone. Lastly, I want to give a very special thanks. And another thanks to Wendy Edwards. Can I tell you, it has been a true honor, privilege every day, every time I come here to see the smiles on the faces of the individuals, and it starts with Wendy, but the children as well. I want to give a very special thanks and acknowledgement to the current student body of Early Childhood Academy. We have many of them in the audience here today. Please give a big round of applause to them. To our Masters of Ceremonies, Lauren and Karan, great job. And to the ECA Senior String Quintet. I mean, it especially hits home for me and many of us on our team. I have a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old in this, sorry, I get choked up on, in this age that is so important, the formative years. And the students are the reason we're all here. So, your smiling faces, kids, your smiling faces are what inspires us to work harder every day to ensure your educational opportunities are boundless and that your future potential is limitless. So at this time, I would like to invite Mayor Bowser and Ms. Edwards to lead our distinguished guests to my left and the project team members outside for our ceremonial first dig. We invite you all to join us out on the project site to take photographs and enjoy some refreshments afterward on the playground. Thank you very much.
Okay, on three. You want to go, Bo?
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right.